Mr. Velumani of Thyrocare on really what's in store. Mr. Velumani, thanks so much for joining us. Let's just, first get a sense of the change in the diagnostic space that you've seen in the last decade. Has the organized market now, the organized market share really increased a lot and, a lot more significantly? What's been the big change according to you?
Many have understood the need for a brand, and people are focusing on making brands seen visible for end users. So the business is getting organized, and unorganized players are finding it difficult to have patients coming to them. So if you ask me, in these last 10 years, what was probably 10-12% unorganized today is around 20% according to my estimates.
One would still say the unorganized market is, fairly high versus the organized space. Do you think the new decade will be about garnering more market share at a faster pace for the organized?
I think there will be many drivers. The conversion of unorganized to organized is one of the driver. The next driver, very important driver, is if your GDP grows faster, you will have more affordability and will look healthcare in priority. There is an increased data penetration because of which people now read more than earlier. So there is an increased awareness for people about diseases and disorders. And of course, India is an young country which will become by next 10 years old by at least another 5 years. I mean, mean of Indians will go at least by 4 or 5 years in year 2030. This will result into much higher healthcare consumers, because healthcare is not for youth. It is meant for people above 35.
Right, Mr. Velumani, prices of most tests have gone down as organized markets have increased and volumes went up. Do you think prices of most tests will come down further as volumes begin to perk up even further?
I think laboratories are fairly charging, and I don't think laboratory pricing will come down. There are hospitals who have a very limited captive consumption of their own patients, and to have a better revenue and better profit, they are charging high. They may be under pressure either from the market or from the government to look at price cutting. Otherwise, the commercial laboratory operator across the country, be it local, regional or national, they are already compelled severely by the market, and I don't think truly there is much room for prices to go down for a common man.
Right. Do you also think that growth in preventive care is going to continue, and will that be one of the key reasons for the volume growth as well in the sector?
I think the developed country means 50% preventive care. Remaining 50% only is managed care for a sick patient as far as diagnostics is concerned. So this, I was clear even 25 years back. That is why I created a brand called Arogyam. And I must tell you, in these last 20 years, the contribution of preventive care in total diagnostics has gone up from 2 to 3% to 20%. And in another 20 years, it will go to 50%. So it is going to grow. People would love to know if they can come to know earlier about a particular disorder which is getting cooked. And it is growing, and it will grow.
The last 5 years have seen the funding environment, listing, etc. of diagnostic players. Do you think that after PE funding drying up, volumes, pricing are picking up in the sector?
Now, I have a reason to believe Indian diagnostic market is not sufficiently big. I am talking about per capita spend of diagnostics is not big for PE guys to play the way in which they want. There is a limited size of the market. Though the population is very big, the market size is limited for the country size. And there have been already players who have done substantial disruptions nationwide. There are big four who have contributed enormous in nationwide standardizing whatever is yardstick in terms of quality, cost and speed. So anybody new to raise to that big four size is not that simple. In the earlier part of this decade, people thought that doable, and then they have understood that it is not that simple. So PE funds have dried up a bit, still there are substantial. But my opinion is market has to grow. As I said, the population need to become old, population need to become rich, population need to become wise, then only money will have something to do. Until that time, a good system will continue to grow.
And a lot of buzz around big players like Reliance entering diagnostics. Do you see more investment coming in the sector?
I have a reason to believe in pathology, you don't need huge funds, you need a huge organized approach. In other words, what you need in pathology is IT, HR and logistics. None of them are capex intensive. The laboratory automations are fairly affordable for the kind of turnovers they can create. In radiology, yes, it needs huge funding. MRI machines, PET-CT machines, CT machines, all of them are ranging from 3 crore to 10 crores. So there the funding guys, if they come in and get into, that will be great fun. When it comes to laboratory, it is not a capital demanding or intensive industry. It is an organized approach towards taking care of the customer with minimum middlemen and creating a market. So I don't see the deep pocket is the concern. The concern is there should be many people. Of course, that is not a concern. It is going to doing good for the industry. There should be 10 big corporates, Indian corporates should get into healthcare in a large scale. And if somebody is aiming diagnostics, that to pathology alone as the potential business, that is a motivation for us. And there will be a lot of disruptions, and it will be a fun to watch and thrill to watch.
Right. You know, you've led the pricing and provided tests at affordable rates. So what is Thyrocare's strategy to gain more market share ahead of others in the sector beyond 2020?
Actually, I must tell you, I am in this field for last 20 years. First 5 years, I was only in Mumbai. Next 5 years, I was in all metro cities. Another 5 years, I was in all state headquarters. And the last 5 years, I have been in all district headquarters. The coming decade, I wish to be in all taluk headquarters, reach to the nooks and corners of the country. In fact, it is truth to tell here, metro cities, markets in diagnostics have become stagnated. Only tier 2, tier 3 towns are growing. And my wish is in 2030, when we touch, we should be present in every taluk headquarters is my wish.
Mr. Velumani here is wishing you a very happy new year from all of us, and thank you so much for joining us on the show.
At ET Now and in Times Group, everyone a very powerful, impactful 2020. Happy New Year.
Okay. Thank you so much once again.